Hello and welcome to the Library TV Network. Today is April 22nd, 2025. We are right here as we're in the office of the Ombudsman Secretary Kipus and Princess Kidi Kuba. So bring your live data regards to what is happening.
The central bank to do more public engagement regarding its monetary policy. So, I mean, you being a media friend for a very long time, for many years, I didn't expect less in terms of you creating the awareness to letting people know about the ombudsman and thing, and that is a very great one. Most of the time, the guys play here as part of the music they play during the broadcast, and thanks for that initiative. But what or who is the ombudsman? Is the ombudsman a person or an office? Are you the ombudsman or you the chairman of the ombudsman?
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. But the issue of the Cllr on the ombudsman at the office, along with Director General of the Liberia Broadcasting System,
Okay.
and other staff that initiated the idea. So it should never be attributed to me.
Okay.
It should
That's fair.
overall be attributed to the office, but there are folks in the office that dedicate their time to ensure that the mandate of the law is implemented. Right? And so I have been to lead that effort. Now, to your question, who is the ombudsman? Well, we will not take you to the history of why it is, but ombus, as it is, and the man attached to it, basically there are two words,
Right.
but it's not actually English per se.
Okay.
But the laboratory
Is there a legal word?
no, it's not legal per se, but it may actually have legal connotation.
Okay.
Is like saying university, for example, which means a number of institutions working together.
Right.
So the ombus, as it is, two words. The base word is ombus, and the prefix there will be
The
suffix.
The suffix will be the man, right?
The man. So ombus generally means a servant for the people.
Ombus.
And
Is that a Latin word?
No, it's Dutch.
It's a Dutch word.
And so if the person who performed that servantship or that duty is a man, that person is regarded as the ombudsman.
So had the president appointed a woman, would they have changed to ombudswoman?
Now, the individual will be referred to as ombudswoman.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's
Right.
a woman
Right.
to perform
The duty.
function, right? And that person becomes the ombudswoman.
So ombus is the servant. So when you are the man in this space,
the gender of the individual
right,
follow
the servant. So you're the female servant,
man or
servant woman, exactly.
And what is the historicity around that is that person served as the go-between the citizen and that of the leader. Right. And so
Those in authority, steering affairs of the nation.
You can hear from the citizen they complained, and you actually tell that to the leader as a way in order to have a dedicated balance. In Liberia law, the ombudsman would be all those who are in the office and they are men, they all classify as ombudsman.
Do you have a woman in your midst?
Yeah.
So she's the only ombudswoman.
So the men.
Okay.
The women that are in the office, if there's a single, then it's going to be an ombudswoman.
Right.
If you find two of our staff who are women, then it becomes ombudsperson.
Ombudspersons.
Yeah. To actually inculcate everyone, so you have both women and men.
So we should be saying ombudsmen, right?
Ombudsman. So if you said ombudsman, right, then you are referring to an individual in the office. If you said an ombudsperson, right, you are referring to, say, an individual. But if you both an ombudspersons, then it means in that case would be both a male and female by saying ombudsperson.
By the way, Council, thank you so much. I mean, let us get into the nitty-gritty of the conversation. I mean, the education is very important.
Right.
Your guiding principle as an institution, the office of the ombudsman / ombudswoman, is the code of conduct. Is that correct?
Correct.
So you have a responsibility to ensure that the code of conduct is adhered to by all public officials and employees of government. Is that correct?
And those who have contract or interaction with the government library.
I don't understand that.
So all contractors that work with and for the government library are covered by the code of conduct to the extent of the contract.
For example, engineers constructing roads.
Engineering companies, or
Right.
engineer, whether it's an individual contractor or a company, once you have that contract with the government, it means you are covered by the code of conduct.
So you're basically the police for morality in society. Is that correct?
It may not be police. It's a servant.
Okay, yes, servant.
Servant
Servant that reminds people of their moral responsibilities.
Right. So it is a policy, the government policy, right? The policy of the government today is that the maximum amount that can be paid to, for example, anyone within the executive branch who is appointed by the president, the maximum amount should be almost like 7,000 plus.
Right.
So now, if anyone is making above that, if that is brought to the attention of the Ombudsman office, we then have to elect the president.
Find out why is this person.
So it seems that the person is in violation of the policy, because the policy has set the maximum city. Of course, the person has to approve that, right? That maximum city must be approved. Now, if it's in the judiciary, for example, if it's required that judges are to go to work on time, and judges are not to use a position as a way not going to work. And it is reported to us that judges are going to work late by the citizens. We would then call our judge to go by telling the judiciary that, look, we've noticed they have been complained that this particular judge come to work late.
Your awareness music is sort of summarize how citizens can interact with the office of the ombudsman. I listen to the guy saying, I'm taking my director complaint, I'm taking the CEO complaint, or depending on the position the person is occupying in a particular institution.
Right.
So does it mean that individuals can complain individuals who work in public institutions to the ombudsman based on acts that they consider as illegal?
Correct. Individuals in government entity or entity that provide public service can report other individuals that they believe they are in violation of the public policy. An institution can also report on other institutions who reasonably believe that there's a violation of the public policy or a public policy.
How can your office investigate such complaint is filed?
Okay, so when a complaint is filed with us, we use the administrative procedure law, right, as a basis to receive the complaint. And when the complaint is received, we acknowledge the complaint either through a text message, an email, the phone, but the most appropriate means that will be available at the time.
Okay.
And then we will review the complaint as ombudsperson, and we make a determination. And the determination how to make is there within our jurisdiction, right? And it will find that within our jurisdiction, right? Is the matter a matter that we can actually handle? Now, if we decide on that and other questions, then we may conduct additional investigation to appraise ourselves of the complaint, or we may cite a hearing of the person that you actually complained. On the law, if you are citing another person, then you will attach that complaint that was forwarded to you to that person to able to prepare it before they can appear for a hearing or probably a conference, whatever it is. That is one category of complaint. Another complaint is called whistleblower. It's protected by the whistleblower law.
Right.
If an individual complaint, we'll review the complaint based on the content of the complaint and what the nature is, that individual could be classified as a whistleblower. If the individual is classified as a whistleblower, we will ask our question, is it within our jurisdiction, wherever, and we say, yeah, we can do that. This particular aspect is called investigation. It's not going to be hearing per se. We will protect the whistleblower or his identity. We will not reveal in a manner. He complained or will not be revealed this will be self-initiated now by the ombudsman. So when it's being done, it's like the ombudsman is the one that has self-initiated this complaint, right? And we will investigate using the procedure law. And if there's a finding, that finding will be reported.
So do you find people who are found guilty after your investigation? Are you the one? Does the whole investigation and everything regarding punishment, does it start with you and ends with you? You punish at the same time, or you have to go through the court?
Like the courts, we are a quasi-judicial court at a certain point in time.
Okay.
And so if we came up with a ruling, right, and a judgment is made,
Mm-hmm.
that judgment is forwarded to what we refer to as a responsible agency. Who is a responsible agency? For example, it could be the minister, right, or a director in that place, or the chief justice, or the speaker, all right, could come to the house, or the president, okay, or the president. So the responsible person will forward that judgment to the responsible person. The responsible person is on duty to enforce that, but this is the magic of it. If that responsible person fails to implement that, we can enforce that by going to the court for enforcement. Because under the code of conduct, we have full function: to investigate a matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
To monitor the adherence of the code of conduct, to oversee the code of conduct, and to enforce the code of conduct.
Okay.
So the enforcement mechanism, right, will be through the court. Now, mind you, it might be good to know that the president, His Excellency Boaka, is working with the Law Reform Commission and the Office of the Ombudsman has said the code of conduct needs to be strengthened. He thinks it's weak, right? He thinks.
Are there provisions in it that he's suggesting changes?
Well, when it comes to the review of the code of conduct, it's left with the Office of the Ombudsman. That's how the legislature actually.
But he's not the implementer. He just has the appointing power. And how is he looking at quickly noticing weaknesses of the code of conduct?
He is the president of Public Library, right? He is the implementer of all the laws, right? That's his function. So, if the president thinks there needs to be an enhancement in the law, right? The procedure is there. Okay, yeah, they can interact with the Law Reform Commission.
But have the ombudsmen, seen any weakness of the code of conduct? Have you noticed that? Yeah. What provision specifically that you are seeking a review?
Now, there are a number of provisions we think require review, but let's just go to one.
Okay.
The code of conduct today has a prohibition against nepotism.
What section is that?
Nepotism. Find out for me, Francis. Nepotism. So it has a provision against nepotism.